Japanese submarine slammed 2 torpedoes into our side, Chief. Was coming back from the island of Tinian to Lati. Just delivered the bomb. The Hiroshima bomb. 1,100 men went into the water. Vessel went down in 12 minutes. Didn't see the first shark for about a half an hour. Tiger. 13-footer. You know how you know that when you're in the water, Chief? You tell looking from the dorsal to the tail. What we didn't know was our bomb mission had been so secret no distress signal had been sent. They didn't even list us overdue for a week. Very first light, Chief. The sharks come cruising. So we formed ourselves into tight groups. You know, it's kind of like old squares in a battle, like you see in a calendar, like the Battle of Waterloo. The idea was the shark comes to the nearest man, and that man, he'd start pounding and hollering and screaming. Sometimes the shark would go away. Sometimes he wouldn't go away. Sometimes that shark, he looks right into you, right into your eyes. You know the thing about a shark, he's got lifeless eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes. When he comes at you, he doesn't even seem to be living. Till he bites you, and those black eyes roll over white. And then you hear that terrible high-pitched screaming, and the ocean turns red, and in spite of all the pounding and hollering, they all come in and rip you to pieces. You know, by the end of that first dawn, lost 100 men. I don't know how many sharks, maybe 1,000. Don't know how many men, they average 6 an hour. On Thursday morning, Chief, I bumped into a friend of mine, Herbie Robinson from Cleveland. Baseball player, bosun's mate. I thought he was asleep and reached over to wake him up. Bobbed up and down in the water, just kind of like a top. Upended. Well, he'd been bitten in half below the waist. Noon of the 5th day, Mr. Hooper, a Lockheed Ventura, saw us. He swung in low, and he saw us. He's a young pilot, a lot younger than Mr. Hooper. Anyway, he saw us and came in low. 3 hours later, a big, fat PBY comes down and starts to pick us up. You know, that was the time I was the most frightened, waiting for my turn. Nah, I'll never put on a life jacket again. So, 1,100 men went into the water. 316 men come out. The sharks took the rest. June the 29th, 1945. Anyway, we delivered the bomb.